Hello everybody, nice here, and welcome back to Halo Wars 2. I'm gonna play like a normal, just matchmaking, and apparently it becomes a 2 vs 2, and I basically just gonna go over basics for just people that may not really think about certain small details that can be quite advantage to know about and such. But everybody knows, I hope at least, that the energy nodes are the most important one, and also depending on the order you building your structures have also a huge meaning how you're progressing basically in the game, and know how your heroes work like, because the cutter is basically I hear that the main to advance fast and take objectives, so to speak. So it can be quite good for him to have like a few marine troops at least in the beginning to take key areas such like energy nodes and such.
All units.
And depending on the map that you're playing on, like this one that have teleporters, it can be very important to pay attention to, like not allow enemies to sneak in with the teleporter and steal your expansions, so to speak. Because if they can get a mini base under their control, that can be quite a huge problem, because you don't want them to get like say for example a vehicle depot here, and then they could just produce some codex and just bombard your second expansion and prevent you to actually get it.
All units. All units.
And you pretty much want to always be constructing something or using your resources constantly, and depending on what you plan for and how you want to play can quite hugely determine how it's gonna end up, so to speak.
All units. Mini base complete.
If you want to take up fast, then it's pretty much good to spend all your energy in the beginning and try to get as much supply as possible to get that second generator up and going. Okay, so he's basically going all out Marines.
Rally point set.
So I'm basically gonna expect him to go possibly Flame Rush, because they like to do that. So I'm just gonna prepare for that.
All units. All units.
So it's kind of key here to make sure you have a proper amount of units compared to the enemy, so that to allow them to get any ground over you, because that can be quite disadvantaged.
Barracks constructed.
And since they're basically Forge and Arena, we're gonna have a rough time with two cutters.
Generator upgrade complete.
Because here we basically need to get to Tech 2, otherwise we just will be vastly out of advantage by numbers, so to speak. And Serena is very good at holding you down and not allowing you to advance whatsoever. And since I actually saw some cryo troops there, I believe they will actually make a push. And at the point you're basically having your second generator, you may actually want to try to save up to 1,000 energy, so you can actually get those second tech things to actually use, like factories and such, because that's just quite important. But you should not neglect your own defense, like turrets, that can actually prove to a huge advantage for you.
All units. All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units.
And since I got this second generator up and going, I basically just gonna upgrade my third supply pad. So I have basically going, because this is basically how my mind goes. Basically think what the enemy have. They go mostly infantry for now, but they're gonna switch that up real fast to vehicles.
Command center upgrade complete.
Because they want to be aggressive and prevent us to actually do any progress whatsoever against them. so it's quite important to know what your enemy is doing, what kind of units they have out, what kind of hero they're playing. And if you know how to play the enemy hero, you know what they're going to go for, basically. And they basically just did a basic trick there. We just get them visual over that energy shield to prevent them to actually do anything with it. Basically, I just open a second back door for their base.
An allied base is under attack.
Wake up, troops! Hostile!
Fire base constructed. Grenade throw.
Looks like they haven't gone for their second expansion yet.
All units.
So that means jackrabbits, really?
All units. Leader point earned.
So they basically gave me free room to actually go straight for their main base and attack.
Turret constructed. All units.
But I won't actually be able to take it out because units are not quite strong enough to take that out.
Units.
And what I'm basically using right now is basically my D-pad. My arrows basically up and down to move quickly back and forth to my base.
All units.
So I can swiftly like upgrade my troops, get more out,
All units.
and actually stand ahead.
All units. We've reduced an enemy structure to rubble. Supply pad constructed. All units. All units. All units. All units.
Yep, there we go for
All
those
units.
fire troops.
All units. All units. All units.
Yeah, time to get more units up and going. I get some cycluses up
Combat station
for those other
upgrade
vehicles,
complete.
because they basically just go for early game
Rally point set.
cycluses
All
to
units.
put aggressive gameplay against us, prevent us to actually do much progress.
Supply pad
So I'm
upgrade
gonna just
complete.
get more energy for us, and think about to upgrade it again to the second, to third grade.
Allied
Because
base is under attack.
this Forge have a quite huge army,
Infantry
but
level 1 researched.
Allied need turrets, so he should think about that.
Supply pad
But
constructed.
he don't have a lot of anti-air, so to speak, so
All
he won't
units.
be able to actually
All
do much
units.
damage when it comes
All
to
units.
not being able to attack air. But they might actually be able to kill off my
All
friend
units.
here, because
All units.
he don't really have much army on him, so to speak.
Armory constructed.
And basically what I'm doing right now is basically double
Turret
pumping,
constructed.
which basically means I put as much units as possible
Local units.
around.
Leader point earned.
Basically
All
do
units.
damage as I can.
All units. All units. An allied base is under attack. All units. All units.
I don't remember if
All units.
Isabel's
Local units.
forge
I'm starting to lose count.
thing actually affects
All
the
units.
air unit.
All
Oh, it is.
units. All
No,
units.
it's just so.
Turret
Yeah, we basically lost this because they have basically overwhelmed us immensely.
All units.
But my ally can't
Units.
quite get troops out because he is having a huge problem. He don't have a second base, which prevents him to actually have a decent enough of
All units.
income and unit output to actually do enough damage.
All units. The enemy hero is down. All units.
But basically, more might actually end up with basically me up against them.
Cyclops
And
under
it's kind of
vehicle fire.
interesting, like, you see the box on the top right? This actually tells you what the units are good against what. So it can detail on everything. Like, if it's good against vehicle, is it good against the infantry, is it good against air, and such. But the hidden thing here is the Marines, they are decent against everything. And they are basically UNSC's anti-air, because anti-air is not good at all when it comes to dealing with the air units. I don't know why Wolverines are so bad against air, they just are.
Hornet reporting. Over.
My allies seem to be struggling when it comes to
Supply
supplies
pad
to get
upgrade
this second
complete.
expansion.
All units. All units.
Unless you're just gonna stun it away.
Supply pad upgrade complete. All units. 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 All units.
Looks like he's not going to get that expansion.
All
And now
units.
they are basically buying themselves a
units,
huge amount
all
of time
units.
because I'm wasting time here trying to save my ally
Hornet
here,
reporting for duty.
and he can hold his own, which prevent us to actually do damage against the enemies, prevented them to do progress and everything. So this is basically become a match
Allied
with
base is
attrition.
under attack. All units.
So they're gonna win because they have more resources, they have more upgrades over time than we, because my ally here is lacking supplies and energy
Allies are
income.
attacking the enemy base.
Well, I'm basically just fully upgraded with my main base because I concentrated a little bit more on that and not allowing myself to get in a disadvantage.
All units. All units. The enemy has captured our power node. All units. All units. All units. All
But this
units.
is, I know already, like, this is a match that we won't win, but I just gonna play it out just to see how it's gonna end up.
Enemy structure.
But I won't be expecting us to win this.
All units. All units. All units. Leader power ready. Fortify level 1. Researched.
Yeah, that's not really good.
All units.
I'm kind of half tempted to just not do anything to help my ally.
All units. All
The
units.
Forge here is going to go all out when it comes to artillery.
All units. All units. All units. All units. All units.
Haven't upgraded my marines yet.
All units. All units.
Nope, can't push.
Reinforcements
Because
level 1 research.
Wolverines are decent against when it comes to units. They're practically also kind of like an anti-unit when it comes to air.
All units.
You sending a vehicle after me?
An allied base is under attack. All units. All units.
Soldier reporting.
All units. All units. Rally points.
Yeah, we basically lost this game.
Lost some Marines.
Our base is under attack.
But since it's ranked, I don't expect much from like this thing. And the funny thing is, this guy's is ranked 99. Ranking does not prove that you're
Allied
skillful.
base is under attack.
Because if he was actually a skillful player, he would not allow the enemy to get an expansion.
I need a jetpack.
And he would not put himself in a disadvantage.
Hostiles.
Our allies are attacking the enemy base.
But he did.
We've taken out an enemy structure.
Just show me the hostiles, sir.
And Forge is a hard enemy to actually deal with, because just that hero, just because he's a vehicle, it's hard for infantry units to deal with it. Because infantry units struggles against vehicles hero.
Level 1 researched. All units. All units. All units.
Wiping out hostiles.
And basically just try
Allies are
to
attacking the
get
enemy
all those
base.
units out
All
constantly.
units. All units. All units. Local units. All units. Local units.
Two, under fire from air units.
Hornet here.
Hijack researched. Turret constructed. All units. All units. All units. All units. We've reduced an enemy structure to rubble. Leader power ready. All units. All units.
Yeah, there it goes. My ally dies.
Destroyed an enemy structure. All units. All units.
which is basically
Turret
key to
constructed.
not allow enemies to get control over your side
Taking out
bases.
an enemy structure.
Because
Our base is
economy
under
is
attack.
key for winning. If the enemy are out economy you're basically lost.
All
Like, it
units.
doesn't matter if they outnumber you. As long as you can put out field units out-tech them, you can win all the time.
Local units. All units.
But if they outnumber you, out-economy you, you're just fighting a losing battle.
All units.
And this is why I don't really like play 2 versus 2, because it's so easy to just a game can just turn to shit basically. And I don't like playing 1 versus 1 because
Local units.
most of the time it will end up with a unending struggle against 2 equally played players or just a one-sided fight.
Leader point earned.
I'm not gonna bother with that. Just keep dragging on, so to speak.
The enemy has destroyed one of our buildings. Let's tend to the
But
wounded.
Wolverines are still a
Regroup
decent
stronger
unit
than
because
ever.
they can detect cloak, so to speak. Because they're designed to detect cloak. And as you see here, economy-wise, the enemy team did excellent. They were equal with me basically when it comes to economy, compared to my ally that was not doing well at all economy-wise. I think pretty much if my ally had like concentrate a little bit more on his economy and prioritize the closest bases, it was good. He would prevent them for the mini expansion on front to prevent them to basically have a forward outpost to put out units from, but he didn't prioritize his sides, which put him to a disadvantage to not have economy to help him. And most of the time, infantry units can't pretty much take out a base when it comes to just 80 population. You need at least 100 just to overwhelm turrets and have the proper amount of damage. But in an early game, it pretty much is not even viable at all most of the time. Like they may be enough to prevent them to get a second expansion out, but not enough to stop them, so to speak. And the only units that you want to have out to snipe out infantry like heroes like Pavium, Desmus, Kasana, Jerome, and all those kind of heroes that are basically single entity and not a vehicle hero. You basically want snipers if you play UNSC. And you don't want to actually go for rangers if you go Banished. You want to go for Wraiths or Banshees to deal with the infantry, ironically enough. Because the rangers aren't really that excellent. But Suicide Grounds is also good to use. Maybe like a couple. But you definitely have to have a proper army to help them out, so to speak. It's definitely gonna take a very long time to actually find a game, I think. Or not. Okay, who am I gonna go for now then? Let's go Jerome. Jerome is a very aggressive and defensive hero. So him you want to play like passively, but not over aggressively. Because he's very strong mid-game. Lol. spur in the middle of a sentence. Awkward. Hello there, Decimus and Aatrox. I see you will rush today. Well, that's gonna be fun, isn't it? Oh, what is Cuttis gonna do? Oh, he's gonna go all out vultures. Okay. So we basically have wraiths and banshees. That's all you're gonna pretty much expect from this combination, basically. Vultures, so to speak. Unless the cutter goes for tanks. It's either that, one or the other.
All units.
Oh, I'm here, okay. And one other thing that is good to think about is where you basically start at in the beginning. If you're basically a mid laner, you want to go in the middle area and try to get all those things in the middle.
Generator constructed.
And if you're a side lane, you want to go for that side lane immediately. Don't even bother with anything else, so to speak. Because if you concentrate on your lane when you play 3 versus 3 and win your fights, that's excellent for your whole team. You're just helping everybody by concentrate on your side and put pressure. And if 2 enemy armies attacks you, that means that's 1 army that's not doing useful things. Because sometimes a single army can support basically against 2 armies.
Supply pad constructed.
If you have the right composition of
Allies are
units.
attacking the enemy base.
We're up, Leathernecks.
Supply pad upgrade complete. Mini base complete.
I ain't giving anyone a piggyback. Let's go.
Okay, let's get you up.
Supply pad constructed.
Get yourself
Rally
in order,
point set.
Marines. I want to see headshots.
All units. All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base.
No.
Marines under air assault.
Better go over there.
Supply pad upgrade complete.
Okay, let's save up for Jerome. Because Jerome early game is quite important to have out in the field when you play him. Because he's the only kind of hero that put a lot of pressure against the enemies.
All units.
Understood.
Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units.
It's vital we get that point, Marines.
Okay, there we go. But sometimes it can actually be good to not go for heroes at all. Just for economy wise. But the heroes generally play a vital role in the game. But I have a tendency to neglect heroes because I don't really see the usefulness of them sometimes.
Eyes on
Our
me,
allies are attacking
Because
the
they
enemy
sometimes
base.
don't really prove their worth at the cost of their expense, so to speak.
Leader point
Marines ready
earned.
to serve.
All units.
Okay, let's get you.
All units.
Marines. Look
All
alive,
units.
Marines.
All units.
I'm gonna do a
Generator
thing I don't
constructed.
usually like to do.
All units.
Early
All
expansion
units.
without even taking up to 2nd grade.
We've demolished an enemy structure.
But it's just to put pressure on the enemy, so to speak.
All units.
Okay, here's
All
going flamers.
units. All units. All units.
So I'm gonna expect a flame rush then.
Just give us the order.
Supply pad upgrade complete. All units. All units. Local units. All 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 units. Into position.
Right now I'm putting pressure on the enemy
All
and making
units.
him run
All
away.
units. On it. Generator upgrade complete. All units. 09.
Look at him just basically not putting enough pressure on me. So that basically allows me to build an expansion here and deal with his armies.
All units.
And look at that.
Under assault.
All units.
Here's red coming.
All units. All units.
So put pressure and go here.
Got eyes on
All units. All units. My approach. All units.
If they don't have units anywhere else, they're just wasting, and he resigned.
Attack. All units. All units. Send in a command mantis. All units. All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units. All units. Payback time. Turret constructed.
This is what I mean basically. Know your units and composition.
All units.
If you know what you're doing, you can basically put pressure on the enemy and don't worry about anything else.
All units. All units.
Everything is about expansion and have control.
All units.
If you have good economy, then that's good. That's more economy for you to use to put pressure on the enemy and prevent them to get expansions.
Our allies are attacking the enemy base.
If you can prevent them to actually get good things, that's actually better for you
All units. All units.
and worse for them. But you don't want to overextend, because if you overextend, then you risk to basically not have anything at all. Because all this takes for them is basically get to take free right now and demolish everything with the Wraiths, tanks and benches and a bunch of Wolverines.
All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units. All units. All units.
Right now, I just allow him to basically move forward, because I just want to have visual on his unit.
All units. All units.
And now he's gathered all up, and I just dumped this.
All units. All units.
And he lost his, basically his whole army.
Fire base constructed. All units. Local units.
See the use of the suicide rounds? That's excellent work of him.
under fire from ground troops.
But I can keep putting pressure on him, because I'm out economy him,
All units.
and he's struggling right now.
All units. All units. All units. All units.
And since I have a vehicle hero,
All units.
it doesn't really do much damage against my hero,
Supply pad constructed.
so I don't have to worry that much.
All units. Rally point set. Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units. Got eyes on enemy units.
Get expansions, get expansion, get expansion, get expansions.
I'm under fire.
Because my allies don't apparently understand that expansion are quite important to win.
Supply pad constructed. All units.
We're under attack. Over.
All units. All units.
And he's wasting
All
a team.
units. All units. All units. All units. All units.
That's
All
basically
units.
300
All units.
supplies in the drain.
Supply pad upgrade complete. I'm under fire. All units. All units.
Oh?
As good as
What if
dead.
I put my hero here, man?
All units.
Reporting for duty.
I'm under attack.
Our Spartan's been killed.
Just put a second army here.
All units.
And it came out Spartan, but
All
that's fine.
units. All units. All units.
Because I basically want my allies to put pressure on the enemy right now.
Garage constructed. All units. All
Time to
units.
rally all my troops.
Rally point set.
Enemy attacking.
Our allies' base is under attack.
Get that hero out.
Two troops.
Upgrade complete. Garage constructed. Supply pad upgrade complete.
What I basically told my allies they did, what as I told them, get expansions. It's important. Still, being ranked 99, I expect more of him, so to speak. But he don't really do that much. He's doing excellent work putting pressure on Orange to prevent him to get expansion, but so far we haven't done much as preventing the enemy to do more progress.
All units. All units. All
We
units.
haven't stopped them, and so they can still put a danger to us.
All units. All units. All units. All units. All units. All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base. All units. All units. All units.
now I want to get rid of these barracks because they're putting a bunch of problems for me.
The enemy hero is down.
I don't want them to have a barracks to get units out,
All units.
but that are just giving me much more problems than
All units. All units.
them, so to speak.
All units.
And of course my allies are struggling with supplies, so I just gonna throw away all my supplies to them because I'm making sure they have supplies.
All units. All units.
And if you have taken notice, the enemy haven't really put much pressure on us.
All units. All units. All units.
They are neglected attacking to defending.
All units.
If you're on the defense side, you are 100% certain to lose sooner or later.
Firing target.
We're up, Leathernecks.
Local units. All units.
And since I'm basically pushing you forward and making them
Infantry
lose
front
ground,
one researched. Moving on.
and it's kind of important to know how to split up your troops to prevent maximum damage of the beam, which is the most overpowered leader power in the world,
All
which I hate with a burning
All
passion.
units. Combat station upgrade complete.
And there is right now 2 beams on me.
We've taken out the enemy hero.
Just to try to kill me off.
All units. Our allies are attacking the enemy base.
And as you see, I have not been able to actually take up, but that doesn't really matter much because we have put pressure on the enemy.
All units.
And now I just take this expansion, preventing them to get more units out, and just carry on.
Front one researched. All units. All units. Local units. Local units. All units. All units. Our allies are in trouble.
Have to remember to kill more troops, using my right D-pad to move
Command center
around.
upgrade complete. All units. All units.
And now we are taking out one guy, and the other guy most likely gonna resign, because it's basically him against us
Give me a
now.
target and I'll make them disappear.
All units.
Some players fight to the end, some don't. But
Nicely done, soldier.
I might just talk it a little bit too fast for you guys to keep up to understand everything, but I hope I did it good enough to make you understand the importance of map control and know how to basically do your priorities, so to speak. But I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm gonna see you